Hello world, we're talking about Bad Company today, and I actually want to start this video down memory lane. Maybe you remember, we went to Mount Rushmore, and we drove there. In what car? A Geostorm, was it?
It was a GMC Hornet.
No, it wasn't.
Oh no!
The car we rented.
That was the first car we owned.
That car,
yeah.
That car would never make it.
I do not remember what car we took.
I think it was a Geostorm, which doesn't exist anymore. But we drove, and I worked at Holiday Inn, so we stopped at Holiday Inns all the way there.
Yeah. Right.
We went to Mount Rushmore. But the memory I have is that I had bought Bad Company's Here Comes Trouble.
Okay.
And we put that in the tape deck. So I own.
I do not remember what music we listened to at all.
Well, I bought it, so that's why I remember. But I actually owned two Bad Company cassettes. Here Comes Trouble and 10 from 6.
I think I do remember you owning it though.
Did you own anything of Bad Companies?
No.
Okay. So they're mostly a 70s band.
Right.
In the 80s, they never really they did have a couple moderate hits, nothing anybody hears anymore, but 90s is when they came back. And then they did hear from after Here Comes Trouble.
So Bad Company formed by Paul Rogers from Free.
Free.
Free, they had their big hit.
And supposedly they have a couple hits, but do you ever hear the other one?
I listened to the other one, I didn't recognize it.
You
But
did? Okay.
So All Right Now by Free, and it's pretty much he picking up a hooker. I guess it sounds like, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
If you look at it, listen to the lyrics, it looks like she's on the street.
Yeah.
He picks her up, takes her home. He's like, "What about love?" He's like, "Love." Yeah. So,
Yes. But
in fact, like Bad Company songs, 50% or more are all about love and or sex. Okay.
yes.
There we go. We got.
Not all of
We
them.
got.
Feel like
Can't
making
get enough.
love.
Well, Good
Ready
Love
for
Gone Bad is
Love.
the other. You feel like making love. Yeah, Ready for Love. Rocksteady even. It's not
Really?
talking about rock and roll.
Okay, okay.
It's kind of like The Whisper. Also,
Interesting.
Whispers also have Rocksteady. It's like I don't know, rock steady.
Yeah,
Stay
but listen,
rocking all
okay.
night long. And that's not
But
talking
when
about
you-
rock and roll.
Okay, if you're gonna talk about lyrics, listen, every song
Yeah,
today
yeah.
is similar
Yeah.
in topic. But they did have all other type
I
stories.
said 50%.
yeah,
so-
like obviously the one about the shooting star. You know,
Yeah.
similar to
That
Jukebox.
one, okay, that one, Shooting Star, Johnny. And why does it matter what first Beatles song? You know, he goes, "Love Me Do," I think it was.
Right.
You know, were you there? I mean, he must have mentioned it.
And you can't confirm it because Johnny's dead.
Yeah, he must have mentioned it in an interview. But it reminds me of two different songs.
Right.
REO Speedwagon's "Rock and Roll Star"
Okay.
from Wheels of Train. And about that, he's like he left his mom at the beginning of that song
Right.
too.
Yes.
To pursue, and then he talked about going home at one point. He didn't die in that song, okay? But the other one was
Jukebox Hero is from
The other one is the Foreigner Jukebox Hero.
Yes.
Because Johnny heard "Love Me Do." The Jukebox Hero was standing outside of a concert he couldn't get in. Heard the
Correct.
guitar player.
Yes.
So they both, the Jukebox Hero had to keep playing, right?
Right.
And the Shooting Star, they were going to love him as long as he was, which he was no more, but you can hear him. Now, this begs a question, because it says the people love to hear him sing his song. Is he a one-hit wonder?
His song.
Yeah.
It is his song.
Yeah. Which maybe that would be the time. Maybe next week we should do the one-hit wonder song.
No, we're gonna wait one more week and then we'll do our one-hit wonder list.
Okay. But
And I'll explain
is
why.
he a one-hit wonder, or did he have multiple hits? It doesn't really say he has more than one song.
I know. All right. So Paul Rogers and who was the other guy? Mick.
Oh,
Mick.
oh, I did see.
All right. The other guy
I forget
came.
his last name.
Yeah, the other guy came from Mott the Hoople.
Mott the Hoople is a guy from King Crimson, and then there was the other guy. I can't remember.
Well, the other guy came from Free too. Two
Okay,
guys came
yeah.
from Free. All right. So and so I guess they would be a super group. I
Yeah.
originally thought they were original group,
Yeah.
but they're a super group. And then they had all these hits.
Yes.
And what I don't like, so I bought that album 10 from 6. I just went over it.
Okay.
It's actually 10 from 5. It does not have any songs from Burning Sky.
Okay.
Which that one's kind of weird. It's called Burning Sky, but he never
Yeah.
says Burning Sky. He goes, the sky is burning.
Yeah, and I don't remember if I mentioned this in the previous video. I know I said it sometime, but he goes, "The sky is burning. I believe my soul's on fire." And I'm like, "Yeah, look up, dude. You're probably in hell." But that's just how he's feeling, because then the rest of the song, he's a fugitive from. He escapes from prison and is on the run. Which I've heard. You know, Blake Shelton had that one song about that dog, and that was also an On the Run. There's several songs that have On the Run.
Right. Okay, so that's one of the things. Yeah. Why is it not called? Why is Burning Sky not on that greatest hits?
I don't know.
Instead, Live for the Music is on it. It's supposedly a radio hit, and I've never heard that.
Not only that, there's a lot of the songs that are played on classic
that have
radio
never been
that
singles.
never were singles.
5
But
of
we have them in our ranked.
Yeah, so Rocks from the first album, Rock Steady, Ready for Love, and Bad Company,
Right.
all were not released. Shooting Star was never released.
Right.
As popular as this.
And also Silver, Blue, and Gold. Right.
Which you don't like.
Silver, Blue, and Gold is mostly about, I would say it's almost like grieving over death. But she didn't die. I think she just took everything. But yeah, might as well have been a death.
I thought this was the Culture Club colors, but for his dreams.
No.
But it's not. It's a silver, green, and gold.
Yeah,
Well,
like my dreams, right.
Yeah,
Red, Blue, and Gold.
when we do Culture
Red,
Club.
Green, and Gold. Red, green,
I
and
don't
gold.
know. Okay. Once we research that.
Yeah, because we were talking about Prince and Purple Rain. And
Yes.
who is red? Rush is a lot of red.
Okay. All right. So, no, this is another band though that did switch lead singers
Yes.
and still had hits. We've had quite
so
a bit
in the
of those.
80s, after 82, Paul Rogers left. And the
Brian Howe.
Brian Howe has passed away.
And he died 4 years ago. 3 or 4 years ago. 2020. COVID.
Yeah.
Was it the COVID year?
Paul Rogers is still alive though.
Yes. And
There are several other members of
You know
the
who
group.
he's similar to? Paul Carrick.
Okay.
Because for today's video, we are actually not just doing Bad Company. We are going to include the Free song and the Fur.
No, because they were at
Because
Ace,
he's the main guy.
Ace and Squeeze and his solo career.
And Mike and the Mechanics. Yeah, that was Paul Carrick was our Mike and the Mechanics, and
Yeah.
so Paul Rogers.
So
Paul, you have to be a Paul.
1982, Paul Rogers left, and him and Jimmy Page were good friends. Formed the firm, and they only had 2 albums, and they said pretty much they were
meant to
expected
do
that.
yes. Right.
Yeah. So they had the first one was Radioactive.
Right.
Right.
Way different than Imagine Dragons Radio.
And he's also talking about his girl. He's like, I'm radio.
Stay away from me.
No, he wasn't saying
Well,
stay
he
away
says
from
don't
me. He's
stand
like,
too
he's like,
close.
turn me on because
Oh.
I'm radioactive. So I'm like, no, don't get too close. You could catch it. And then you even said something like that.
Right. Satisfaction Guaranteed. I actually like that one. You said you didn't like it. It's slower.
Yeah. Now the satisfaction in the lyrics is actually a question. What does she want? What could she be satisfied by guaranteed?
Right.
But the song's called Satisfaction Guaranteed. But Mick Jagger begged to differ. But he can't get no satisfaction. Right?
And then the second album, Mean Business, which is double meaning. We mean business, or it's a mean business. And they meant it both ways, so obviously. And then that one had all the King's Horses.
Yeah, and I liked it better, even though you never hear that. You really didn't hear it.
It's all 3 of their songs from the firm are unusual.
Now, all the King's Horses and all the King's Men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty together again.
I don't believe
Here's the
I
thing.
don't believe that's what it's talking about.
Ricky Gervais has a little set on Humpty Dumpty because in the story, if you didn't have the picture book, you wouldn't know he's an egg. Never mentions he's an egg.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, but he was talking about how he's on a wall, he fell, he cracked it. He goes, then all the King's Horses. He's talking about how if you go pull Humpty Dumpty together again, you do not want horses around because they have hooves, and that's terrible for an eggshell.
I remember.
Yeah,
I did watch that. Yes, so not about. I don't believe it's about Humpty Dumpty.
No, it's not.
According to the video, it's a Japanese family.
Yeah.
So, anyways, by the way, this will also be similar to our next band, which I'm not going to mention just yet, but I'll give a hint. So, their second singer, Brian Howe.
Yeah.
He was actually the lead singer on Ted Nugent's
Yeah.
album, right?
Right, before.
Before. And what's funny is, so they go touring. You know who they toured with? Damn Yankees,
Oh, okay.
with which Ted Nugent was in.
Right, okay.
So that's kind of funny. And that's another super group.
yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a good concert. Bad Company and Damn Yankees.
And you only hear high enough, but they had like 4 or 5 good hits, I think.
Yeah, they do.
And they had 2 albums. I
Right.
bought the second one.
So-
Don't tread on me.
So our next person doesn't have Ted Nugent in it, but it's another super group similar to Damn Yankees.
Okay, so we're gonna tie them in with,
Okay.
with one song each. We're gonna tie Bad Company in to last week's Poison,
All right.
because they had a song called "I Want Action,"
Okay.
which sex is pretty much what they're talking about. in
Right.
that song, obviously.
Okay.
And Bad Company, of course, said, I feel like making love. So, like, there's the 2 songs. Same thing, really.
Yeah.
I want action. I want, whatever. Okay, that's how we're tying.
All right. That joke.
I could not.
That joke
wasn't
was
a joke. That was
that
a tie.
joke was bad. That's actually a good time.
That wasn't a joke. That was just a tie.
Oh, okay, whatever. Let's see, and similar to actually, I want to tie into something else. So did you see all the covers to their albums?
Yeah.
Dangerous Age came out in 1988, and it's a kid smoking.
Yeah. Very young. 5 years old. maybe?
Right. Which means that's the baby from 1984. 4 years later,
Van
he
Halen.
was smoking.
Yeah.
So somehow they found him. They said, "Here's a cigarette, kid, because we know you're used to him."
If you want to listen to the songs, the two, there's 3 that I really knew from Brian Howe, but the 2, "No Smoke Without Water" and "Holy Water."
No smoke without fire.
"No Smoke Without Fire" and "Holy Water."
And there's no fire without with water.
Yeah,
You use
but
water,
those 2
no
songs,
fire.
when you play the intro, I can't tell which one's which.
they both sound alike, which is actually why I only included one of them in my top 10 I picked
Okay.
on, because it's the same song.
So did you base it on the lyrics because they have the same
No,
guitar part? So.
no, and you know what? Here's one thing I know: you'll never hear "No Smoke Without a Fire,"
Okay.
because once 9/11 happened,
Okay.
that was one of the songs that got banned from radio.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, it had smoke and fire when the buildings went down.
Different albums too.
Different albums, yes. One actually is called Holy Water. If you look at our chart behind
Yeah.
me, that's one of their albums. That one did better, I believe, because the people.
Oh yeah,
used to-
albums you buy. I'd probably get the very first one.
If I went back to that, I obviously had the greatest hits, but yeah, if I went back to the old group, that's the one I'd get.
Yeah.
Very good debut.
I like how every now and then, like, I don't know if it was the greatest hits where they put Bad Co. instead of a company. It just says
Yeah.
CO.
Now, obviously, I got Here Comes Trouble, so that's my favorite. There are a couple movies called Bad Company, and
Jeff Bridges.
rumors were that's why they
Yeah,
named
but
it.
he said no. He said
Right.
it had to do with a PSA he saw on a poster where a kid was seeing another kid,
Right.
and it said something like "Don't hang around bad company" or something. The other kid was, probably, I think, smoking. Which is probably why they put it on that one album.
Yeah, and the other Bad Company movie was Chris Rock and Anthony Hopkins, I think.
Wasn't the?
There was a third one, I think, but I can't remember who's in it.
I was like, what was the one with all the women, like Drew Barrymore?
Bad
and all
Girls.
that? Bad Girls. It wasn't Bad Girls.
That's a
Okay.
western. Yeah. I'm going through all the movies.
I couldn't.
Nobody from Bad Company has ever been in a movie
Yeah.
or TV show that I could find. So, there's by the way, because we're doing Free and The Firm, guaranteed there's not going to be as many Bad Company songs as people would like.
Okay.
So we already know you won't agree with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you grew up with the 70s more than the 80s. You're like, blasphemy! But there you have it. Well, I say let's go ahead and get to our top 10. Okay. Honorable mentions. You have 1. I have 4. You didn't like my list. But, you know, like I just said, I owned Here Comes Trouble, so the 2 main songs I put in my top 10 just because that's my favorite album of theirs. That would be How About That. And by the way, you won't see very many videos for this group because obviously all their hits came from the
70s where they didn't really do videos.
and the new guy, you know, nobody cared when he was in it. So, but How About That was, for some reason, it's all about ghosts.
The one video, I can't remember which one. No Smoke Without Fire.
No, okay.
Which is the one where they're walking through smoke and they come out of it while they're walking in front of a vehicle or something like that.
I don't
It's the
know.
beginning of the video. It's either that or Holy Water, but it reminds me of The Mist.
Both of them.
The end of The Mist.
Yeah.
After he gets out of the car, after he shot the people.
It's got to be the one with Smoke Without Fire.
Okay.
Can you have smoke without fire? I mean, your cigarette's not on fire. You're smoking, right? There's smoke and it's without. But you had to,
there's
you
a
did
fire.
have,
There's a fire in the
but
cigarette.
you did have to light a match to light
Yeah,
the cigarette. So, okay. Okay. The other song on the album is called "This Could Be the One." One of my favorite slow songs of theirs. I put "Feel Like Making Love" because that's an odd one for them. It's slower, acoustic, and then when it gets to the middle, it's da-da, da, da, da. And then Satisfaction.
He just repeats that so
He
much.
does. He does. Yeah, and this one, and we just mentioned Foreigner. Yeah, they have "Feels Like the First Time."
Okay.
It's like the 2 songs that start with "Feel" that are very popular. Yours, and I just said "Satisfaction Guaranteed." I actually like, even though the video makes it look like everybody's sweating to death.
Yeah.
Yours is "If You Needed Somebody."
I was just gonna say you didn't mention it, so it's probably in our list.
Early in that guy's career.
Right.
Was it on their first album?
I was thinking this probably on the album you bought. No.
Was it on Dangerous Age? Probably. Or Fame and Fortune. I think it's Dangerous Age.
Okay.
Okay, by the way, Fame and Fortune will be another tie to our next group, a specific song
Okay.
where he talks about Fame and Fortune. You'll probably know which song that is, right? Okay, okay, so that's your only honorable mention. So, not bad that one didn't miss. It's an oddball out there. Okay, so these first 4 songs I'm going to mention, I did not have in my top 10. And then the one right above that, you didn't have in your top 10. So number 10 is Holy Water. And I put that just outside. Like I said, I didn't want duplicate songs. So I put it at 11. You put it at 9. And it's funny, so he's not Catholic or anything. That's what you think of when you think about
Yeah.
holy water. He's talking about the
Yeah,
holy water.
yeah. So holy water, really. I mean, the concept is, it's water in this bucket, and the priest bless it, and then it goes.
But that's not what he's talking about.
No, but like when you talk about the Bible and Jesus walking on water, that's not really.
No, it's not holy. Just
water,
because he
so-
walked on it's not
Yeah.
holy either.
Yeah.
But he was talking about the woman he loves walking on holy
Yeah.
water. So, I mean, there is a phrase, "I worship the ground you walk on." That was more of the meaning than what I got. Okay, so the holy water, number 10. Number 9 comes from Bad Company. Bad Company. I have this at 14. You have it at 5.
It says "Till the day I die," and at the end of the song, he wraps it up because I believe he said he got shot dead. Maybe shot in the back. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But he finishes. He actually dies in the song.
Very piano-based song.
Yeah.
So again, this one's unusual for him. Slower,
Yeah.
piano-based. So and hence I had it outside my top 10. Number 8, which I did not think would make the list, coming from Mean Business, from The Firm. All the King's Horses. Number 8. You had this
That's
at 4.
I'm the reason that's right in the list.
Yeah, you had it at 4, I had it at 15. That starting guitar is really odd, which makes it unusual. It does have a different flavor to it. That's why you don't hear it on the radio. Would it be neat to hear this one on the radio?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Radioactive rarely plays, and I like hearing that. But this
That's
one,
because the guitar is all over the place. With
Yeah.
this thing. It's. Is that how Slash with Guns N' Roses decided to do
Sweet Child of Mine.
"Sweet Child of Mine"? Yeah, because that's like the notes are like all around.
Yeah, they are. Well, if you look at the video for Satisfaction Guaranteed, he's using a fiddle stick
Yeah.
on his guitar.
Okay.
And then a woman hands him a glass bottle and he slides it.
Yeah.
That's an odd way to play a guitar.
Yeah. Now when you watch that video, yeah, you just start sweating because you're like, is it on here?
I know. And they're
Turn
wearing,
that fan on. It's not broke.
And the drummer was wearing a coat. I'm like, if it's hot, get that coat off. Okay, that was number 8. Number 7, we've already talked about, coming from Straight Shooter, Shooting Star. And then you have this as your number 1 song. I have it way down at 16. I don't know how you this out of all the songs, really this is the one you put at 1. Anyways, and your guess who it's about? Is it
It was a certain
Jim
person.
Morrison, Jimi Hendrix? You can't say Janis Joplin because it's a band. But
Well,
we had
no,
all these people
he
dying
was just
young.
probably doing it like an allegory story. It's about many different people.
Right,
dying.
but yeah, I mean, obviously there's similarities to people dying.
It's Johnny. That's who it is.
By the way, I forgot to even mention that Paul Rogers was asked to replace Jim Morrison
Yeah,
in the Doors,
Right.
and there was another band that asked him to replace somebody, and I can't remember who that band was. Somebody left, and he was gonna, and he turned that one down.
No, that was when he was forming Bad Company.
Okay, but he turned somebody else down when he was in the firm, right?
Yes,
Okay, I can't remember who that was.
I think was that the Doors. That might have been the Doors. Yeah, the Doors might have been because the Doors didn't they go till the 80s? Right there, the early 80s, like.
I don't think so.
You don't think it made
Yeah.
79 maybe? Okay.
All right. Anyways, but still, Paul Rogers in the Doors. That would be weird because he wasn't famous yet.
I would say Jimmy Morrison died. The Doors are done. He was
the
the
Doors.
voice of the Doors.
Yeah, he was the Doors. Yeah, you don't replace him. That's why once Phil Collins leave Genesis, why are you putting out Congo? He was Genesis. Okay, number 6, coming from Fire and Water, and you're like, Fire and Water? That's not bad company.
Was that an album called Congo or Calling All Stations?
Oh, Calling All Stations, right. Congo was the song. Right, thank you. All right, Fire and Water from Free, and this is All Right Now. My 4, your 12. And there's 2 versions of this song, but you got to go with the version where when they get to the middle, it's a
Yeah.
and then it slows down. It's like do 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 do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good musically for being a 70s song, but being their only hit, this is their only hit. Maybe they're talking about themselves. They're the shooting star to me. I mean, I don't know the other Free song. Okay, so that's number
Wishing Well, it's
6.
called, but,
Yeah, it's called Wishing Well,
It's
but
not Terrence Trent D'Arby's.
no, no, he didn't do remake it. Number 5, coming from Desolation Angels. My 6, your 7. That's Rock and Roll Fantasy. And you asked me about Poison's guitar start. What was their best one? It was Unskinny Bop. This is probably their best guitar start, does you? Right? Guitar wise? Yeah, where did they get that
I
noise
don't know.
from?
I don't know what that was.
There's a couple of songs that have that noise to it. Yeah, so Rock and Roll Fantasy. And that sounds more similar. Rock and Roll Fantasy sounds more like the REO Speedwagon song than Shooting Star. Says me. Number 4, coming from Dangerous Age with the Smoking Boy. No Smoke Without a Fire. I have this at 5. You have it at 8.
Oh, I didn't know if you heard me earlier where they said the two songs that sound similar. Did you base which one was in your top 10 on the lyrics?
No.
Okay.
No. This one has a way better guitar solo
Okay.
in the middle, so that's why I picked this one over that. Yeah. I think, and not only that, on Here Comes Trouble, there are at least 3 songs that sound similar to these two.
Okay.
So once he got Brian Howe, their creativity sank. Okay, so that's number 4.
Yeah, and he left the group because he said he was doing all the work.
Was it? Oh yeah, he
And,
was.
and the
Him
guy-
and the other guy,
And the guys
Terry Thomas.
Yeah, kind of resented him, and yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely friction. And then they went with a third guy, and he dropped off the face of the map. Okay, number 3 from Bad Company, the original. You have this at number 2. You should actually switch this with Shooting Star because it's way better. I have this at 9. It's Can't Get Enough. Their biggest single, ranked wise, Billboard chart wise, and it's their first hit. I believe Can't Get Enough, and it starts with the drum. It's a triple song too. So. Yeah, so definitely I like this one. And believe it or not, it's not their favorite Bad Company song from that album. You would think so because it's at 3, but it's not. However, the next song is not from Bad Company. It's again from The Firm. From The Firm. Which, by the way, there's a movie called The Firm.
Yeah,
From John Grisham.
There's a series too, also. On
Is there?
Netflix. I
Okay.
think.
And this is my favorite song. You put it at 10. Radioactive. And again, just like the oddball. Radioactive.
Okay.
Can you even call
which
it?
one's better? This one or Imagine Dragons?
I like this one better
Yeah.
than Imagine Dragons. That one.
the only reason
That
I
one's
like
overplayed.
the Imagine Dragons, the best part of it is it.
Yeah. Which Weird Al did a parody of, by the way. Yes. So no, I like this one better. And even when they put this super group, so you got that Chris Slade, who came from King Crimson. Was he? He was the drummer from a
Could be.
famous band. I can't remember exactly what it is. The bald guy. I remember reading in Modern Drummer where he talked about when you hit the crash cymbal, it's best when you do the bass drum at the same time. Like,
Okay.
duh. Do you ever hit the cymbal and not hit the bass drum? Anyways, so you got. He looks kind of famous. I remember the band. I think I know the band was famous what he was from. Paul Rogers obviously famous. Jimmy Page famous. Who's that fourth guy? Because he looks like a Flock of Seagulls
Okay.
member. Anyways, okay, so that's my 2 cents. And lastly, our number 1 song, which you made this your hit for this week.
Oh.
I have it at 3. You have it at 6. I made it the hit 2 weeks ago when we weren't doing Bad Company. And that's Moving On. From their second album. Oh no, this is Bad Company too. So they only had 2 releases. Can't Get Enough, followed by Moving On. This is our number 1 song.
Yeah.
And it's,
No, I was reading the lyrics and it was just giving me anxious because it's like, I'm gonna miss my flight or something like that. Or
but
hotel's booked. Sorry, you can't stay here. I don't know.
But this is also a fun song to play for the drums because right at the start you have the quadruple. So yeah, moving on from town to town. They never list any towns, right? They could have had a perfect opportunity to list
No,
towns.
they list the front desk when he's seated in the plane, pretty much.
Yeah. All right, but it's
The taxi cab.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a fun song to play drums to. That's what I say. So that's our number 1 Bad Company / Paul Rogers song.
Yeah. that song reminds me of Bob Seger's Turn the Page.
That one's way slower. You mean story-wise?
Story-wise, yes.
Story.
Yes.
Okay, got it. All right, so that's our Bad Company list. If you had to just pick Bad Company, I'm sure it would change this list.
Yeah.
I thought about putting what our top 10 for Bad Company would be without the songs because we literally took 5 spots Or was it 5 spots? No, 3, 4. We
Then
had
another-
All Right Now. Oh, 3 actually. 2 firm song. 2 firm songs.
You're
Two firm
thinking
songs
of
and
the
3.
new version. Of
Yeah,
Bad
because
Company,
once you
that's
put
fine.
Brian Howe in, it's
Yeah.
not really Bad Company.
Which
either.
none of those songs from Brian Howe are on any greatest hits.
Really.
They only put the old Bad Company, the original Bad
But
Company.
they did put a live album out.
Yeah,
and
okay, the live album did, but
They
that's
did
not
because
the same.
they did that while he was in the band. That's why
Yeah.
you had to do that.
Yeah, but that's just not the same. Because
No.
I want to hear the studio version.
They could have put out a Bad Company greatest hits just with him, just to see what his hits would be.
All right, yeah.
That would kind of be
Yeah.
interesting. So next week, now the definite similarity to next week, even though despite words, is we got another band where it's 3 bands tied together by one guy, and bad is a word that ties it together. Who is it? Do you know? You know what? It's a redheaded version of Rod Stewart. That's what I said. I was watching the videos. I'm like, man, he's like Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
So if you can think of that guy, and despite what this other guy says, he's not a one-hit wonder. Which is why after we do this band, we're gonna do a one-hit wonder list.
Yeah, okay.
So that set up our next 2 weeks. All right.
Wait. Oh, never mind.
Okay. All right, so have a good New Year starting whatever week we put this out. Actually, a few weeks back. And yeah, this guy's still alive, by the way. That may change before we get to this video. So, till then, we'll see you next week. Bye.